Willy Loman, the main character in Arthur Miller's famous play, Death of a Salesman, is more than a common businessman in the 1950s. Through Miller's portrayal, Willy becomes a tragic hero, losing an uphill battle against mental stability and family conflicts due to his tragic flaw. Abby Belknap presents Willy Loman, a tragic hero. Willy's tragic flaw is his excessive pride, which leads directly to his inability to accept reality. His perception of the American dream is becoming an acknowledged businessman. However, his hubris often hinders his success and happiness. Willy considers himself the New England man, declaring that he is vital to the region. He provides poor justification to refuse a less demanding position in New York because he cannot admit the vulnerability of his advancing age and declining health. Willy also deceives his wife, claiming he made significantly more on commission during a recent sales trip than he actually did. Willy feels obligated to comfortably support his family and their home, but he cannot face the reality that he struggles financially. When reminded of house payments and loans from Charlie, his neighbor, Willy instantly becomes frustrated. Rather than appreciating help, Willy often feels insulted. He cannot handle wounds to his pride, which results in fractured relationships and ultimately, his demise. Willy fueled his ego by pampering his mistress. Purchasing new stockings gave Willy a sense of financial success, and having a mistress who chose him boosted his low self-esteem. However, he did not remember that he was loved and cared for by his wife, and eventually his transgression creates great tension between him and his son. During the climax of a heated argument, Willy's son, Biff, forces him to face the unpleasant truth, exclaiming that Willy is a dime a dozen and landed in the ash can like all the rest of them. Biff's emotional breakdown astonishes Willy, who realizes his son loves him despite his faults. Although his mental state has deteriorated, Willy eventually confronts the reality that he does not have much to show for his long, taxing career, and that his efforts to raise his ideal sons have failed. Now Willy must face his demise. In a final and desperate effort to provide finances for his son, Willy literally drives himself to suicide. This tragic ending could have been avoided if Willy would have let go of his pride when he still had the opportunity to piece together the broken parts of his family. Willy was never able to achieve his American dream. He put his faith into myths rather than identifying his own limitations, resulting in devastating shortcomings. Hubris always leads to a downfall, and the case of Willy Loman exemplifies this concept. Willy Loman may have been a common man, but he was most definitely a dreamer. Unfortunately, his excessive pride led him down a gloomy path towards his demise. Willy Loman may have been a dreamer, but he became a tragic hero.